I know that the removal of these fillings is crucially important. But the correct way is very, very important. Tell us through your process, what they should be looking for. I think there's some traditional dentists that the person comes in and says, oh, what, I want a ceramic, or I want this, I want that. I'll just take out the mercury, which can be more detrimental. So give us your process. And if you're listening out there and you've had a root canal, please, fear is not going to help you. We want to empower you to make the right decision and to find the right practitioner that you trust. Yes, root canals, we know through the research and through documentaries, which we might get into, can cause significant disease in the body. But we don't want to get people to have fear and contract. We want you to expand and find people like, Ben and Sean here with their clinic Smile Body.
Yeah, I'll start with this because I got sick myself, as Ben knows, in 2016. Like I said, I've been practicing for 30 years. The first half of my career, just like dentistry tells you, people will come in, oh, I don't want this metal filling. Let's take it out. They tell us to drill on it, just like any other filling, which is not, because what we lecture about is 54% mercury in there, right? So now what people don't realize is that when you have a mercury filling in your mouth walking around, it's releasing mercury vapes all the time, right? Hot, cold, chewing, surfacing, and any kind of, rubbing on that filling is going to release mercury vapes, right? Now, there's something called EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, that a lot of people don't realize. When they pick up the cell phone, the signal from the tower actually goes to the metals first. It's more attractive. It's like an antenna, right? So, but these are not pure metal, right? So they're not like metal implants, which has its own problems. But the mercury, it's actually the vapes get released twice as much. There's literature on that that's being released into your system, right? Now, when you go to a dentist and you want to take it out, like I did when I got sick, was when you drill on these mercury fillings, 3,000 microns per minute are released from this mercury, odorless, tasteless, right? And so when it touches the skin or hair, it gets absorbed. And where does it go? It goes into the thyroid. It resides in the thyroid, the pituitary gland, right? And then it gets into the blood. And the way that your blood wants to clean it up, your body gets absorbed into the organs, right? So now you have heavy metal toxicity. So organs are not functioning properly. So we talk about
your brain. Don't forget your brain.
Everything.
Ultimately, heavy metal toxicity obviously has a lot. Means it's the reason we call it heavy metal toxicity is because it's hard to remove these toxic metals from the body after it's there, especially the brain. And as we know, mercury is such a neurotoxin. And the ancient stories of the Mad Hatter are these all related to mercury toxicity. This is not a question, but unfortunately, still here in the United States, this is not a banned material. Mercury fillings are still being placed.
Yeah.
We have it's what I would like to point out. It's crazy because legally, all dentists have to have something called an amalgam separator in their office, meaning we can't let this toxic material go down the drain. Why? Because it's bad for the environment. They know it's horrible for the environment. It's number one source of toxicity as far as mercury for the environment.
But it's okay to be in your mouth.
But it's okay to be in your mouth, and it's okay for you to drill on it, and it's okay. So it's just a backwards kind of situation.
Yeah, and the process what you were mentioning, how it's supposed to be done, the way we do it at Smile Body, the patients come in, we have a special room, we drape them from head to toe. You cannot have any skin exposure. You cannot have any hair exposure. Hair is covered. Oxygen is placed. We have them gargle with charcoal to absorb some of the mercury. There's huge vacuums, mercury vacuums next to your face, and also vacuums in your mouth. So these are removed very carefully because they're very dangerous, right?
And you want to remove them with minimal drilling.
Yeah,
and you want to drill them, break them apart rather than drill through the whole mercury. So it needs a lot of irrigation.
Yeah, we have special doctors for that here. We have a team of biological dentists here in the Smile Body that are specialized in different areas. So we have prosthodontists, our biological dentists that help us with the mercury removals. So we have specific standards of how it's supposed to be done, right?
To protect the team and the patient.
Yeah. Yeah, and then once that's done and it's nice and clean, then we use biocompatible materials. We have a laboratory on site, so we fabricate like porcelain fillings, or if you want to put composites. People don't realize even composites are toxic. They have a lot of microplastics. So we have to use BPA-free composites, right? So depending on what we're using, depending on how large the restoration is, then we pick what kind of biocompatible material we're going to use.